Enemy, 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 enemy. Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to 3 Wide TV. And I'm your host, Michael Goodman, and along with me is Carlos Acosta. And welcome to OSCA, or Truck Series Racing, race number 9 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's the Retro 120, and we got the dogs are excited here tonight here at the famed Charlotte Motor Speedway. And the trade deadline, I might be traded from 3 Wide TV to maybe the Animal Planet here by the end of the night. We'll see how that goes. So a lot of updates in the trade deadline, I am sure. And tonight, again, here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Retro 120, we're going to see some throwbacks out here tonight as we get ready for qualifying. And again, last week at Talladega, how about Johnny Ecker getting that win in heat number 1 to clinch, to pretty much seal his playoff fate, and David Westergreen getting his first league win. And so far, he's looking pretty good to make it into the playoffs, but a couple more races to go until we get to that point. And tonight we have 80 laps, 40 laps apiece in each half, top 8 invert. Start time for the first half will be sim time 7 p.m. Second half will be 9 p.m., so a little bit later. And currently on track is the 72 of Douglas Walcott. He makes his first lap out on the speedway. Trying to get the qualifying order going. So it doesn't appear that 72 doesn't ring a bell as far as any throwback scheme there. I think it's just maybe one of normal scheme. So we'll see some doing it. And then there's one in the 55, Brandon Dollar, doing the Tony Stewart 2001 Pepsi 400 Pontiac back in the day. He's going around taking some of his throwback. Vic Bloom currently gets on the pole, early pole sitter in this one. And there you see the Cheaties car still representing the Astros car here, the self-proclaimed. Tate Lytle always showing some speed. Winning a couple weeks ago, I believe that was at is that at Pocono, New Hampshire? I can't remember what I think it was New Hampshire that between him and Damian Leininger and the 05, and that is Robert Hill Jr. making the It's Coming Rome, the Italy paint scheme out there. Not a throwback, maybe a throwback to them a couple weeks ago. Oh, we're trying to get some training paints. There might be some different paint schemes going on here. So bear with us. We'll get some of that figured out, settled in. And oh, look at that. The 71. Don't know if is that a throwback scheme? I cannot tell. Doesn't ring a bell if it is. And how about that one? That one's Kevin Harvick's 2005. I thought it was 2001 on that one. Yeah, 2001. I believe that was from the Chevy Rock and Roll, or now Chevy. Richmond. oh, young kids, look away! It's the Playboy machine, Kyan Jones, out there feeling a little bit saucy with that truck, and he's going to make his qualifying lap. See if he gets on the board. And he's currently qualified 15th, but he might have a secret weapon with the... Oh! Slams the wall. The rascal... What? Hold on, we got...
All right, it's the Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai Ford.
I
am a man of culture.
He's a man of culture indeed, and I am just a simpleton. And oh boy, it's flipping over. and Kynan Jones, he'll be around 20th fastest in practice, or in qualifying. Still having a heck of a time. He's going for it, going around the track, riding the wall. Probably the most excitement there you'll see in a qualifying lap, unless you're Michael McDowell. There's the old Brad Keselowski racing truck, and that's Johnny Thomas in the 83, making his qualifying lap. Currently on pole, Tate Lytle, and here's newcomer. That is Chad Frankenfield. Got into qualify into the race tonight by finishing second in the ARCA series. I believe that's that Ron Hornaday, ran the Smoky Mountain trucks. I believe that was a throwback Chad's pulling off here tonight. He's currently going up on third on the time sheet and qualifying just like that, qualifying over. And we have the starting lineup here for the Retro 120. And on the front row will be Tate Lytle. Alongside him will be DJ Dennis Weeks Jr. In row number 2, Chad Frankenfield. We call him Midnight. And alongside of him, in starting fourth, will be Matt Arcara. Defending champion Blake Barney will be starting in the 5th position. And alongside will be Dylan Gooden starting in 6th. Row number 4, Dallas Myhand. Where is it? I don't know. He's in 7th. But right alongside him is his co-owner for OSCA Truck Series, and that'll be Vic Bloom. And starting in 9th in row number 5 will be Robert Hill Jr., the Canadian, there in the 05. And alongside him, last week's winner, David Westergreen. Can he back it up, keep that momentum going? We'll find out. And in row number 6, we have David If I Were a Carpenter starting in 11th, and Dusty the Dragon Doer starting alongside in 12th. Then we go back into the next row. It'll be the 29 of Matthew Bayak in the 29, and starting alongside him will be the 90 of Johnny Eckert. And row number 8 will be the 38 of Kevin White Jr., and the 24 of Steven Schumann will start on the outside in 16th. In row number 9, I'm trying to do math and whatever, but then behind them will be, I believe this is number 9. Oh no, you got me. It'll be Brendan Give Me a Dollar, and Douglas Walcott in the 72 will start in 18th. Row number 10, Austin McCurdy in that 47, and Riley Marabello, our points leader. He's back this week. He's starting back in the pack. Can he make his way up to the front? And 21, starting 21st in the 51 is Dale Edmondson. He just made the qualified in by winning the running well in the ARCA series here tonight, making his first start as well. And in the 22nd, the 73 of Kynan Jones. And row number 12 will be Thomas Capuano in the 60. And in the 27, Nicholas Monticelli. He is looking to back up that good run he had last week with a good result here again tonight. And rounding out the field in row 13 will be the 96 of Adam Tepe and the 83 of Johnny Thomas. So he must hit the wall while starting in the back. So some fast guys running in the back. See if they can work their way up in the field as we are going to get ready to go green flag racing, and see if you guys can point out some of these throwbacks that are running out here tonight. Tate Lytle will be our pole sitter. Dennis Weeks on the outside. Pace car is diving off, and we're getting ready to go green flag racing. 40 laps here in heat number 1, half number 1 for the Retro 120, and they are green flag racing. Tate Lytle will be leading them down into turn number 1, and he's going to get the advantage. And I think David Westergreen was one to say it last week. You're going to see a lot of drafting in the early parts of these heats until maybe the tires wear out a little bit. Chad Frankenfield, who started this race back in that second row, he's going to try to push Tate Lytle into the lead here as right now, besides Tate Lytle stepping out, it's basically 2 by 2 behind them, trying to settle this out. And man, oh man, now Dennis Weeks on the outside, getting in front of Frankenfield. So right now, Field thinning out a little bit behind him. And see if Weeks can maybe get a run here. Try to make a run for the lead, but currently I would say about on back to, I believe that's Vic Bloom. Trying to get a good view here. Screen's a little foggy, a little pixelated. Yep, that's the 99 of Vic Bloom, trying to get by Dallas Myhan for that 6th spot. And he will take that advantage. And then back up front, Chad Frankenfield trying to make that move. Going down on the inside of Dennis Weeks, and looks like he will get that position. He's going to take over that 2nd spot. Maybe if that outside, maybe get a little bit of run going. And now Chad Frankenfield, he's going to look out for the lead. These two guys up front, they're not afraid to be aggressive, and especially early on in the going. And side by side, Chad Frankenfield trying to hang on and get that lead coming out on lap number 5. Can't quite clear him, it doesn't look like. Side by side. These boys have been known to lay fenders on each other before. Will they do it again here, as they still won't give each other an inch? Battling up front for the lead, and the pack is closing in. You've got Westergreen and Eckert that kind of closed in on these packs, so you got about almost the top 10 running under a blanket. And ooh, Lytle swings wide. I think he might have made contact with the wall, and that will give Frankenfield the lead. And Tate now falling back in now to that 5th position. No, dropping back down to 6th. Yeah, and he's got some heavy damage to the right side of his truck. Man, we've seen this happen before. Tate gets such a good start so fast, and then he just gets the wall, and it seems it can hurt his run. And it looks like we do have a caution out on the speedway, and I believe that will be the 72 of Dennis Walcott, or Douglas Walcott, I'm sorry. We'll see what brought out this latest yellow. Ooh, looks like the pack just got a little tight. Oh, does a wall riding? Well, Douglas, we got the Olympics going on right now. I didn't know the X Games were going on, doing a little grinding on, shredding some. Oh, the X Games. Okay, see, I'm not cultured. I did not know the X Games. Oh, I think Maribel gets into him. Oh, the Mount Rushmore car gets it in the X Games. And unfortunate for him, his half should be probably going to be a little bit hampered. I think he's already gone 1 lap down. So now it looks like, oh yeah, had to take a tow, and oh man, straight up into that wall. And I believe was that the 50, trying to see what car that, 55, no, not the one on top, the blue one. Yeah, I can't see what number was on that car. It might have been the 51 of Dale Edmondson. Yeah, there we go. See, he's a newcomer, that's why we didn't recognize him out here. And he barely missed making some serious contact there as well. Looked like we did have some takers on pit road as well. Chad Frankenfield, Blake Barney, Matt Arcara, David Westergreen, Matthew Bayak, and I believe Johnny Thomas, David Carpenter as well. And of course, Tate Lytle, after hitting the wall, getting that damage, trying to get some of that damage repaired to get back out there and try to remain competitive in the second half of this race. So it'll be interesting to see how the field run and the tires play out. I think they should be able to make it at the end of the heat, into the half. Oh, maybe taking fuel, but it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. Again, The first guy out on the track who did pit would be Frankenfield, who was our leader back in 15th. That will make a fairly new, relatively new top 5 right now with Dennis Weeks, who was in second. He's taking over the lead of Vic Bloom. Coming in second, third, Dallas Myhan, fourth, Johnny Eckert, and Kevin White Jr. in fifth. And I believe Vic Bloom, I think that's Eric Darnell truck. Can't remember if Eric Darnell was from Wisconsin. I can't remember if that's the same guy I'm thinking of. And I believe the Myhan was the Dario Franchitti truck that he ran. That's what he's supposed to be technically honoring there in fourth or third. I think Johnny. It kind of does look like the Montoya. I don't know if that was ran by Franchitti in the trucks. Yeah, it does more look like. Yeah, maybe in the truck series. I'm not sure, but it does. Yeah, it does have that. Definitely has that Juan Pablo Montoya Sprint Cup car. Yeah, not sure. Well, we can either call it. I think that's what he proclaimed it to be, but we might call it Juan Pablo Montoya. And I don't know if Johnny Eckert has a specific throwback, but I know that's his throwback to what he ran last season. So, hey, there you go. And we're going to get ready to go green flag racing. We'll be a quarter of the way through once they get back going and get the green flag. Dennis Weeks is going to lead them to the green. And here we go. And on the loud pedal is that 97. Looks like he'll clear the rest of that pack, but they stay 2 by 2, side by side as they see him go by the screen. And right now, those two guys who run this show, they're battling out for second spot, but Vic Bloom will tuck in behind the 41. And on now the inside, moving into that fifth spot is Dustin Dewar, trying to get by Johnny Eckert side by side, battling to stay in that top 5. And then Dustin Dewar running an old Darrell Waltrip truck paint scheme, the old Sears Die Hard paint scheme on there. Looks like Johnny Eckert on that outside getting a good run, being able to get back into that fifth spot. And behind them, 2 by 2, Dylan Gooden and Robert Hill Jr. So look back there, you see Chad Frankenfield working around that 15th spot. Hasn't moved up too many spots, but he's right there trying to work through the pack. Blake Barney. Ooh, it does look like a little bit of damage to the front end of Frankenfield's truck. I thought he might have saw it before he pitted, so maybe didn't get it all fixed. But now the car ahead of him, Blake Barney, he's cruising from where he... Wow, Frankenfield, oh yeah, he ran the fastest lap of the race with that damage. It's maybe not hurting him too bad, but those two cars, the 00 and 57. Oh! Contact between, oh boy! Brandon's gonna need $1 to replace that truck. I think Frankenfield and Dollar get together on corner exit, and man, that just snapped his car right into the wall. Head first into it. Oh, it looks like might have been a little neck code. It looked like, oh, and he got stuck on the wall. And I don't remember having cheetah scheme. I don't know, that might be a little liberties given there to his paint scheme. But it almost looks like they net code together. And I would call that a racing incident all day. I would say the 55 came down and the 57 came up, made contact. Maybe a little bit of net code. And not a lot of room given by either one driver, but just how it stuck to the wall. And that will end Brandon Dollar's day. He will be scored now 24th, 2 laps down. Still holding on to that lead is the 97 of Dennis Weeks Jr. Dallas Myhan second, Vic Bloom third, Kevin White Jr. fourth, and Johnny Eckert in fifth. It looks like most of the field still choosing to stay out. And now those guys that did pit under the last caution, Blake Barney, Chad Frankenfield, they are currently 10th and 11th in those Toyotas, and see if they can getting closer and closer and see if they can work their way back up to the front, as we're not even halfway done with this heat, folks. So those tires, maybe they'll equalize out in a little bit, but it's to be determined. So hopefully next time by we get the 1 lap to go here. And oh, do we have the? It's official. Yeah, it's official for the Cubs fans. I hope Westergreen. Well, Westergreen knew about it. He was sad that Rizzo has been traded from the Cubs to the Yankees, and maybe a little sad here, getting close to trade deadline, and that he's not running the Cubs truck out there. That's another Brad Keselowski racing scheme that a lot of the to the happiest. Yeah, I doubt he's the happiest Cubs fan out there. But yeah, it's officially announced. It was reported earlier. Yeah, he's not running the Cubs scheme out there tonight. Doing the Brad Keselowski racing. He's I'm sure he's been he needs two ply when he cries. I'm sure he's been using 2-ply. It was something that was reported a while ago, but I guess just made official. So we get ready to go back to green flag racing here. The Yankees fan. Well, yeah, I think the Yankees have 2 Cubs that they trade out. But back up front. Oh, the lights are still on. I thought we had 1 to go. My bad. My bad. Not ready to go back. Green flag. We'll get the 1 to go signal this time by, as the lights do go out. In fact, I was kind of winging it there. I was just assuming because I thought that was ready last time. But again, Weeks, Myhan, Bloom, White, Eckert, and Dewar, Gooden, Marabello, and Barney and Hill and Barney up front as well, and it makes it round out your top 10. Again, the guys with freshest tires at 00 currently being scored in that, I believe it'll be in the 10th spot, where he's officially scored. It's restarting on the outside there. So very much a draft-dependent track for these trucks, but in due time, these tires are going to play a factor. So again, those guys that maybe got some fresh rubber earlier in the heat, not many green flag laps run so far on these tires, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Dennis Weeks showing that muscle. He was starting up in that, I believe he started 2nd or 3rd in this feature. I'm trying to remember now. He started 2nd. Still hanging on to now leading this race as the pace car is off, and we are getting ready to go back green flag racing. Dennis Weeks gets on that loud pedal, takes the lead, and again, fighting for that 2nd spot side by side. The OSCA boys, Bloom and Myhan. And now that inside line really getting going this restart. And Bloom will take that 2nd spot. Johnny Eckert move him up into the 3rd spot. And how about Kevin White Jr. getting into that top 5 as well? And oh boy, 3 wide. This could get scary. But they sorted out. And right now, side by side, about 3rd on back to, man, about 12th position roughly. trying to settle it out, just trying to see what line's disciplined enough to get by. It's almost talking like we're at Talladega once again. Right now, the outside line teaming up maybe a little bit better than the inside. As Kevin White Jr. is going to fall back into the 4 spot. Side by side. Oh boy, almost contact between the 75 and 41, it looks like. And you see those guys that took those tires that were showing some muscle, Barney and Frankenfield, they're kind of blocked in. There's nowhere really for them to go right now, and that could maybe give a chance for these tires to kind of equalize out. As you see, look out front of the 57 of Chad Frankenfield. You see right on the outside is Blake Barney. They're kind of just back and forth passing each other for 11th and 10th, and just waiting for this group ahead of them to thin out so maybe they can pick off some of these positions. But I know sometimes for both, I think the 00 and 57 patience can be a hard concept for both of those guys to use. But right now, kind of being forced to be thrust into that position. As, man, it's just been a track block, basically from Kevin White Jr. on back, trying to jockey it out for position. My hand on that inside line, getting pressure from Dustin Dewar, who's moving up into that 5th spot. So the Dragon, oh, sideways. Oh, Frankenfield goes around the 29 of Bayak. Oh, some ARCA braking maybe going on in the back of the pack. I believe Tepe's involved. Tate Lytle, I think, got some damage as well. And Bayak kind of pulling the cold trickle, trying to back up into the pits. But it looked like it developed going into turn 1. Along this was not the caution, but something happened here between the 51. Oh, is that what? Maybe what brought out the caution? This has happened almost simultaneously. It looks like Frankenfield looked like didn't turn for the corner. Something weird happened there. For that 57. Oh, that was heavy net code. Heavy net code. That had to be, oh man. Someone hit Frankenfield almost full throttle there. Because they even net coded into Riley Marabello there a little bit ahead of him, and he was able to get going. And oh, what a hard hit. So these guys getting through, but man, the CFT71, oh, makes a little contact there. Man, it's hard to see it. Oh, Frankenfield had to be on seizure watch there for flip there. Not really slowing down. It was 73, I think, of Kynan Jones, not really slowing down for the wreck. Looks like Tepe has minimal damage to his machine, so he might be okay. Here's Hot Shoe Schumann. Oh, just getting involved in the wreck there as well. Getting into Bayak on the apron. So now it looks like a couple more guys decided to hop on down pit road and get some tires. I believe now we have most of the field that has come down pit road besides that 90 machine of Johnny Eckert, who is now our leader. So now our top 5 is Johnny Eckert, Matt Arcara, David Westergreen, Nicholas Monticelli, and Thomas Capuano. And again, the guys, basically, I think you're looking at the top 6, I believe, that stayed out under this caution. Dennis Weeks, who was our previous leader on back, have come down the pit road to get some fresh rubber. So again, we have different strategies going on. And how about Johnny Eckert? See if he can hold on and get maybe get another stage win or heat win. When just a few weeks ago, his back was up against the wall, not having a win, being consistent enough points wise, but now he's got 2 wins and is as many weeks. Can he make it 3 in 3 weeks? That would be a very clutch thing in these past couple weeks if Johnny Eckert is able to pull off another victory here tonight. And I don't believe we have a 3-time winner this season in the OSCA Truck Series. I think most of them have pulled off the double, but not the triple. We'll see if that could be done today. Matt Arcara made his return a couple weeks ago. I think it was maybe last week at Talladega. Had some bad luck there. And Westergreen in shape for another solid run. Needs to probably solidify himself just on points a little bit as well, because he's currently kind of the bubble guy on wins in that playoffs position. So if he can get another clutch victory here as well, that would be awesome to see. Coming down, I believe, to take 1 lap to go. Here in heat number 1. Got 25 laps completed out of 40. They are doubling it up. Right now, cars on the lead lap. There are 17 of the 26 cars that started on the lead lap. Austin McCurdy, last car out on track, that's on the lead lap. Again, just been side-by-side racing, kind of Talladega-esque. It's hard to kind of, I think, complete some of these runs. And maybe track position proving to be important. You're seeing guys like Dennis Weeks and Vic Bloom kind of checking away from the field, staying out on older tires. Johnny Eckert is going to try to keep that trend going with almost everyone behind him, at least being on pit road at least one time. See if he can hold them off. We're about to find out, as we're going to see the pace car dive down. And here we go. Johnny Eckert looks like he spins the tires a little bit, but he still gets a pretty good restart. And we're back going green on lap 26. It'll be 15 laps to go here in the heat 1 of the Retro 120. Johnny Eckert really pulling away. Probably one of the biggest leads we've seen so far. Maybe that's not a good thing. I don't know. But basically now we see the battle on probably Vic Bloom in 5th on back, with him battling Monticelli on the inside. Oh, we see 3 wide there in the back with Dustin Dewar, and I believe that's Tate Lytle on the inside. I can't really make that out. So these cars are hard to make out. Robert Hill is in the grass there. I see. Oh, it's Capuano, I believe, that would have been on there as well. And right now, Blake Barney coming on up and trying to get in that 4th position over David Westergreen. You see Tate Lytle, Vic Bloom battling for that 5th position. Man, oh man, that big advantage for Johnny Eckert. That's all 8 and all up, as right now Matt Arcara looks like he's going to try to get on the inside, battle for that lead spot. And it's going to be a 4-car battle up front. But you see Westergreen pushing that 90 truck down the backstretch. Nothing doing as of yet. And man, you look out the front here. I believe this is out of the front of Nicholas Monticelli, the other Jurassic Park The Ride car that Bobby Labonte has. And he's believing today is the day. And he's got a pack of wild bulls in front of him. Maybe he can stay out of the mess that's gonna happen. And 3 wide behind him. This is getting intense, as we are still have 12 laps to go. And how about this Tate Lytle now picking himself off one at a time, getting right behind that 90 truck of Johnny Eckert. Position shuffling just about as quick as they do at Talladega or Daytona. now it looks like he's going to try to make it 3 wide for the lead on the outside. Here we go. And it looks like Westergreen's going to help out that 56 up top, 3 wide going into the corner. Oh, they look like they're going to get through. Looks like Lytle is going to be the brave one that doesn't lift, and he's going to take over the lead here with 10 laps to go. I think Johnny Eckert doing about all he could do with the tires that he had. And pulling away a little bit is that 56, but we've seen that on the restart. This could be where the pack catches up to him. You see it formed up very well on that top side. Led now by Johnny Eckert, David Westergreen, and Dustin Dewar on that outside lane. Now it's starting to dart around. Oh, maybe a little contact in the back of the pack, and the inside line really taking advantage. Blake Barney working his way up into that 3rd spot. And we do have a caution out on the speedway. Oh no, where's your hand? That's not where you want my hand to be. That was naughty. And he was that was a little too much there, Carlos said. And we'll see well I know I said it, but yeah. Oh boy, little contact between Weeks and my oh wow, look at the flip and roll tumble. His hands were soaring through the sky. And if my hands were soaring through the sky, yeah. I like it. I like it. But I think that the landing, he landed on the wall there, but the pirouette and through the air was a thing such, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, we should give a seizure warning there. Pirouette and landing, I think with all things considered, I'm going to give that around a 6.5. The landing, a little bit much to be desired, more landed on 3 wheels than 4. But still a beautiful display of truck tumbling. Straight 7s from the judges. So, man, now I'm the harsh one. Come on. That usually doesn't happen. But again, we'll give I think overall a 7, so that's good enough for gold as of right now for tumbling here in the OSCA Truck Series Olympics. Right now, Tate Lytle, your leader. And man, there's still a lot to be decided with 7 laps to go. Racing was getting very intense, 3 wide for much of it. And what a move, Tate Lytle on the outside in a 3 wide situation, making it stick. Again, a guy not really out there running for points. He's kind of out there running for pride, running out there for wins. Maybe a little bit less to lose than some of the guys behind him. And he certainly took advantage of that to take the lead. As the laps are dwindling down here. Certainly looking for his, I believe would be his 2nd win in the OSCA Truck Series. Again, a part-time driver. And up in the top 5, Matt Arcara, Blake Barney, defending champion Vic Bloom. Man, it seems like he's always in position late in races, and something goes wrong, something happens, and a lot of times not of his doing. Again, a guy who needs a good run. And David Westergreen, he got the monkey off his. It's been a rough go of it here for the OSCA Truck Series for him, but trying to get back. Dennis Weeks in 8th. Johnny Thomas in 9th, and Austin McCurdy rounds out that top 10. So it looks like we'll have at least another lap and a half here of pace laps before we go back going green. So roughly, I want to say like half a lap or so until we go lap and a half before we go back to green flag racing. I believe the ticker is down. We'll try to get that back up. The whole feed is down. Oh wow. Oh, so we're no one can see what we're doing. Oh, they can. Oh, the back. Okay, we have backup feed. See, this is. I'm a noob. So they're probably seeing what I'm seeing, and that's David Westergreen again in the 5th position. We'll try to get the feedback up and running. He's working on it. Carlos is working hard. And now we get the 1 lap to go signal, so we'll have 5 more laps to go, 4 more laps to go. Although we're gonna break some more stories, but yeah, Westbrook to the Lakers. But I believe that was reported. But there's always someone who's got to first report it, and then there's someone that has to, once it's officially announced. Yeah, it was like the Aaron Rodgers thing all summer, and then that whole mess. He's back. Rodgers is back, and he's in Green Bay. Yeah, at least for 1 more year. One thing that's also back is going to be green flag racing to settle this one out. And we'll see the pace car diving off. We'll have about 4 laps to go. Here in heat number 1, Tate Lytle's going to get the jump, take the lead. And Blake Barney to follow. Ooh, there we go. We got the ticker back up. We got like Formula 1 cars working. that was the Gremlins coming out here tonight. And side by side battle for the lead is going to be Blake Barney on that inside. Can he do it all by himself? It looks like our car is maybe helping the 56 a little bit in that second spot with 3 laps to go. The 2 Toyotas up front trying to settle this one out. Again, our defending champion in that 00. Trying to get it done. We got Matt Arcara trying to make that move on the inside now as well. Try to take that second spot away as we're going to hit the line with 2 laps to go. It looks like the top 2 kind of checking out a little bit behind them. Here we go. Wow, that's like the old CBS camera there on the start finish line. That was awesome. Love it. And Kynan Jones off pace. I think there's still green flag racing. Oh, stuff getting shady in the back. Uh-oh. Oh man, and they're able to keep it going. It looks like they're bouncing off each other. We're gonna get the white flag. And who's it gonna be between Blake Barney and Tate Lytle? Man, you see him come to the line. Behind him, though, that's really where the crazy action is. But look at this. Blake Barney on the inside trying to take that lead away from Tate Lytle. Side by side, going down into turn number 3. Who's it going to be? Who's going to get the run? Is Tate Lytle going to get him on the outside, side by side, battling to the line? It's going to be, believe Barney gets him at the line. He's going to win half number 1. Wow, what a finish between the 00 Blake Barney and Tate Lytle. So our defending champion getting back into victory lane. Matt Arcara will be 3rd. 4th will be Kevin White Jr., David Westergreen 5th. Riley Marabello ends up in the 6th position. Vic Bloom 7th. Johnny Thomas 8th. Johnny Eckert in 9th. And Austin McCurdy will round out your top 10. So that, what a finish there. And now believe it will be The 8th place finisher, Johnny Thomas, will be starting on the pole for half number 2 here of the Retro 150. You see the running order. Top 8 will invert, so Johnny Thomas will start on the pole. Oh yeah, Carlos informed me this is our last oval race before the playoffs, as next week we go to Watkins Glen, do a little road course racing. I believe they finished out the season here with in the playoffs. It'll be Darlington, Michigan, and then Milwaukee. So one last chance there for the maybe the road course ringers next week to try to get in. Last second chance to get in next week if they are a little bit better turning right as well as left. They turn every which way. Yeah, that's got the S's. That's probably one road course I'm like maybe 50% halfway decent. Otherwise, I'm just terrible at road courses. But yeah, we're getting under the warm up here. Trying to see some of these guys taking laps. I think Dale Adamson, currently the fastest here in the warm up. You see the track getting a little bit darker out. Gotta wonder if that will make the pack racing a little bit better. Let's see the temperatures. That's at 81. Still kind of blurry there on my track temp. I believe 83. Seeing about that 9 o'clock sim start time. It's got the military time up. Boom. There we go. Now it's clear for me. We got this. And what's the HPA? I do not know what that is. Is that like the high pressure system? Wow, this is like meteorology. Like, wow, it's insane. But we'll finishing up the warm up here. Just a couple more minutes, a couple more seconds, I should say, as we're winding up. About 10 seconds to go here in the. Left to go in the practice. And then we'll get things settled out here to finish off the night here of the Retro 120. Tate Lytle, he'll be starting back. Or I should say Blake Barney winning that race. He'll be starting back in the 8th position. There you see the pole sitter will be Johnny Thomas. Alongside him, the 99 of Vic Bloom. They'll be on the front row. Riley Marabello and David Westergreen will be in row number 2. Row number 3, Kevin White Jr., Matt Arcara. Row number 4, Tate Lytle and Blake Barney. I think they're MIA at the moment. Row number 5 will be Johnny Eckert and Austin McCurdy. Row number 6 will be the 21 of Dusty Dewar, and then the 97 of Dennis Weeks. And row number 7 will be Thomas Capuano and the 71 of David Carpenter. Row number 8, Dylan Gooden and Nicholas Monticelli. Row number... Whoa, I'm getting dizzy here. Row number 9 will be the Robert Hill Jr. and Keenan Jones. I can't watch both at the same time. The 10th row will be Steven Schumann and Dallas Myhand. We know where he is now. Where's your hand? He's in 20th. And 10th. Yep, row 10th. Yep. And then row 11 will be Matthew Bayak and what? Bayak? What? And then oh, so I'm one position. Okay, then 22nd is Chad Friedfield. Okay, so we'll go back up front, and then the round up the field, Tepe, Dollar, and Adamson. So there might have been somewhere where a guy got out on the track. I believe Blake Barney did not grid right now. I don't think he's on track right now. But anyway, And Douglas Wolcott, two guys that did not grid up here in half number 2. So maybe that's where the things kind of jolted up. But all right, on the pole will be Johnny Thomas. Starting up front in half number 2, Vic Bloom alongside. Got that, the nighttime is the right time. Here we go, green flag racing. Half number 2 of the Retro 120 here in round 9 of the OSCA Truck Series. An even start from top side and bottom side going into turn number 1. But it looks like Marabella is going to push Johnny Thomas to a little bit of an advantage going into coming out of turn number 2. Oh, Westergreen goes on the apron. He's able to hang on. Whoa, he was all bits of sideways, able to get back and merge up into the field. No harm, no foul, as now they are 3 wide, and Kynan Jones, I believe, is up against the wall as well in that 73, so he's had a rough night here tonight. Might have to look at his car a little bit later, maybe make him feel a little bit better. And then back up front is the 83, and is Johnny Thomas. Carlos. Oh boy, he's a funny guy behind the mic here, behind the scenes. And we do have now Johnny Eckert on the outside battling for the 5th spot with Austin McCurdy in that 47. Side by side. Now even up front, Riley Marabella trying to clear that 45 of Matt Arcara. Can't get it done. See, you look at the gyro cam of Vic Bloom. Look at these little stats we got going on here. That's fun. So your current lap time. See if we can beat the last time by. Does he have it? I don't think he did he? Oh, he did. He did beat it. Okay, it just took a second to update. There you go. So, yeah, the fastest lap he just ran. So these guys are running, I think, a little bit faster than what they ran in the last session. A little bit cooler out on the racetrack. Right now, I think this field's spreading out a little bit more than what we've seen here in half number 1. I believe Dustin Dewar in the back of this pack in 10th, trying to make some moves on the outside of Dennis Weeks, but nothing really kind of fermenting out of that as of right now. See some of these guys trying to break away and make these packs go here, as Kevin White Jr. is also giving McCurdy a push down the backstretch. So almost looked like in the more daylight time we saw the outside line of the racetrack maybe get a little bit better runs, but right now looks like kind of people are hugging that bottom and single filed out, and this track has really kind of mellowed out here. This race has. First half was maybe more of the aggressive one. Tale of two halves here, as Johnny Thomas so far leading every lap, taking advantage of that track position from starting out front. I believe we're looking out the back. I believe this is of the 47 of Austin McCurdy. See these guys poking out and really can't settle it out, and this is again battles for the 7th, 8th, and 9th positions out on the racetrack. But back up front, Johnny Thomas, Vic Bloom, kind of checking away from the field so far. Matt Arcara behind them as well, so it's been about a 3-car breakaway, kinda. See Thomas getting a little bit of advantage on that. Was waiting for me to do that all night, weren't you? Kind of Jones kind of dragging up the field after hitting the wall there, getting some damage. All these guys are still kind of within earshot to get runs in. Just doesn't seem to be that side-by-side action that we've seen here in half number 1. So I think if we do see another caution, I think pit stops will be a little bit more needed this half, as we do see Tate Lytle restarting in that race in that 7th spot. Really hasn't moved up too much in the field. Now he is looking on the inside of the 47 of Austin McCurdy as they are side by side. It's really hard to seem to get that full pass cleared. It looks like he will do and move Tate Lytle up into the 6th spot. McCurdy's going to try to repay the favor and get on the inside of Lytle and take that 6th spot back. Up front still the same top 4, Thomas, Bloom, Arcara, and Marabello. I think one guy that's kind of worked his way up through the field a little bit is that 57 of Chad Frankenfield, who was up front leading a little bit of the early going of half number 1. He's going to work around the 2 truck of David Westergreen, who, man, almost got into the wall earlier on in this half, but able to keep going. He's going to fall back into 13th, but Frankenfield got in a couple wrecks there as well. That ended his first half a little bit short. Now he's got his sights on the 21. So it's the Dragon versus Midnight. We're gonna have a classic, mythical battle here, I think, for 10th in just a little bit. But just as we were saying that, it looks like these guys are starting to close in a little bit, and Riley Marabello is looking on the inside of our car, and that's gonna be for the 3rd position. Oh, and Dewar almost getting in the wall back on the backstretch, able to hang on. Wow, and he was every which way but loose. And he's going to fall back out of the top 10. And he's just lucky that truck is still in one piece after how sideways he got out of the corner. So it looks like Midnight advantage over the Dragon. You see Chad Midnight Frankenfield now into the top 10. Maybe intimidated him with that new nickname he has there. He's got Westergreen also getting back up in that 12th position. Matthew Bayak getting past Dewar as well. So after Dewar still trying to regain a little bit of his composure after almost getting up the lead. Oh, we got battle for the lead as Vic Bloom is going to go around Johnny Thomas, and now Thomas led every lap so far in this race, but now chalk it up to the 99 of Vic Bloom. But hey, here comes Riley Marabello. He wants to taste that lead as well. It looks like a lot of the help's going to be on that inside line. Marabello's all the way up to the outside. As they come down to lap number 16, Riley Marabello's going to lead that lap, but it looks like a lot of the help. Oh, Marabello's just going to be able to clear that 99 of Vic Bloom going into the corner. As it's pretty stagnant up front for a good chunk of this race here, and all of a sudden, man, it jumbled up quick, and our former leader, Johnny Thomas, falling all the way back into now the 5th position. Tate Lytle, who was kind of stagnant moving up, he moved him up into the 3rd position. So all of a sudden, things are starting to heat up. And Matt Arcara is 4th, Johnny Thomas 5th, Dennis Weeks 6th, Austin McCurdy in 7th, and Chad Midnight Frankenfield, he's moving up to 8th, so he's slowly picking them off here as well. McCurdy making some aggressive darts up and down the racetrack. We've seen Dewar maybe wearing out his tires after getting a slide. Don't want to burn your tires up too much on this run, especially with the lack of yellows. The guys who can conserve their tires are going to be ones that you're going to want to be. Guy you want to be, and it looks like Tate Lytle battling Bloom for that 2nd position. I believe moved Tate Lytle into the 2nd spot. Now we have that battle between Bloom and our car. Then we're riding here with Johnny Thomas. Again, kind of free-falling back in that 6th position, trying to battle Austin McCurdy to stay in. Now he is here a couple seconds slower. They're about 2 seconds slower off their fastest time from what they ran earlier in the race. So the speed drop-off is quite great. And you see, man, some aggressive blocks here. Johnny Thomas maybe run a little wider than he wants. Oh, McCurdy almost gets into the side of the 83. Bullies his way up, and that's going to lose a lot of momentum of that 83, and he's going to fall all the way back into the 10th position. So a very aggressive move for that 47. I'm sure that did not make Johnny Thomas very happy. If he can get back up there, he might have a few choice words to say with his bumper. But back up front, Riley Marabello continue hold on to the lead. Tate Lytle second, Vic Bloom in third. Oh, looks like some cars hitting the wall. Was that Tate that again maybe scraped the wall? Or maybe was it McCurdy? I'm not sure. One of the black cars, and they did hit. It was McCurdy did hit the wall. It was one of the black trucks. As Johnny Thomas. Oh, there was a payback after the car. Oh, and he pushes Thomas into the wall, and Thomas stuck to the outside wall. So Thomas not liking the aggression that McCurdy showed earlier on in this race, driving over his head a little bit, forcing his way past Thomas. And McCurdy scraped the wall. You see Thomas getting back up there. And you see this payback coming out of the corner. And he gets back up on that bumper you see here. McCurdy's kind of in the free fall position as well. Get him sideways. Both chase each other up the track, and hard net code I think a little bit pushed them both up as well. Short track tempers maybe, and now yeah, McCurdy's fallen all the way back into the 18th position. There's one guy on the move again. There you see Johnny Thomas, 21st. Man, he's fallen all the way back. Finally, last car out of the lead lap. But Frankenfield working his way off, picking them off one at a time, getting by Matt Arcara into that top 5. And right now, Dennis Weeks trying to put the heat on Vic Bloom for the 3rd position. And coming out of turn 4, they're going to be side by side. Battling with that for that 3rd spot. I think Dennis Weeks will get a little bit of the advantage right now, but that's far from settled. We look back further, this is about 10th on back. And it looks like Carpenter and Westergreen, they're battling for that 9th position. And they're bringing a bunch of guys with them. And Dewar, Hill, Myhand, and Adamson, they're all hungry to try to get in the top 10 as well. And we do have a caution on the speedway. And oh, it looks like the 97 of Dennis Weeks. Looked like he got up and over. That might have been some contact between the 97 and the 99. We'll take a peek. These guys were battling it out for that 3rd spot side by side for a while. Looks like Bloom just washed up the corner just a little bit. They made contact. Chad gets lucky. He got the net code through him. And some of these guys are lucky they got around him. So I think with everything, oh, I'm sure Bloom not happy with himself. Just those guys were running tight. Washes up the track a little bit. Just crazy how quick these trucks are flipping here tonight. And the tumble there, I'm gonna give, man, if I gave the last one a 6.5. We gotta see what I gotta take one more look here at Weeks. Is just a slight bit of contact, and that's crazy. Overcorrected it, got in the wall, the flip. And Oh, the near misses. That I gotta give that an 8. Just by the whole sequence, it looked like everyone was practicing that for a long time. But I think maybe a lot of guys need a new pair of shorts, and they're getting some new rubber out on the racetrack as well. Zig, pit stops are underway. Riley Marabella did come in as your leader. See who wins the race off. Looks like maybe Tate Lytle. I think he might have had position. Out of the guys who pitted, I think the two guys that did stay out on the track, you see them on top of the leaderboard. That's going to be the 24 of Steven Schumann and the 96 of Adam Tepe. The two sad racing machines. There's another Brad Keselowski racing machine, and I think that 96 a old Keselowski truck as well. The old Grease Lightning truck. I think he did, but I'm not sure because I think they always had the theme of Brad Keselowski, but I'm not 100% sure. I know I've seen that. Yeah, it's an old. So it is an old PKR racing scheme. I knew that's like probably the oldest truck I think out of all of them. There's the 96, but it looks like they just stayed out to maybe get some TV time, have us talk about their trucks, and they head down pit road. Get the rubber, so that will surrender the lead to Tate Lytle, who did beat off Marabella off pit road. Vic Bloom still holding on to that third spot. Chad Frankenfield moves up into third. Johnny Eckert Frankenfield in fourth. Eckert in fifth, and Bayok sixth. Arcara seventh. Carpenter eighth. Robert Hill Jr. ninth, and Dallas Mahand in 10th position. So we're getting down there. So I think by the time we get the green flag, will be about 11 laps to go. Go down the back stretch. Tate Lytle just, we've seen the muscle that he had in half number one, just unable to beat out Blake Barney, who did not start this race. So he is currently scored back in 14th. So he had to start, I think, the race on pit road. So working his way back up, you see him on the scoreboard, I believe. Well, maybe he's moving up. Who knows where he's going to be restarting now? Scored 12th. 13th, right around that. He's running about mid-pack. So trying to work his way up, trying to defend that half number one win. So he didn't get the advantage of starting in 8th. He had to start all the way back in the back of the pack. And right now, 25 cars took the green flag. 23 currently on the lead lap. This one has been more green flag racing than half number one. There's still going to be 11 laps to go once we take the green flag. We got some new players involved right behind Tate Lytle. We have the 92, our points leader, Riley Marabello. We have Frankenfield, who showed some muscle leading some laps in half number one as well. Vic Bloom, who had a very good run in half number one as well. And the Hornets' nest behind them. We've seen how crazy it kind of gets. So usually from about that 6th position on back, it's just throw them under a blanket and let them punch it out. The pace car dives onto pit road. We're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing with 11 laps to go here in the Retro 120. Half number 2. Man, Tate Lytle, he's been getting awesome restarts when he starts on that front row. And right now, the top 2 check out in the side-by-side battle. Once again, Vic Bloom's caught in the middle of it. This time it'll be Chad Frankenfield in that 57. And that'll be for that Third position, we look side by side back in the pack. This is where the hungry boys eat. You got Brandon, give me $1, and Ben, our car, I believe, and I think even the Cheaties car, there's a lot of these cars kind of look and painted the same. Or you might be watching 3 different things at one time. There we go. And oh, it looks like McCurdy's trying to work his way back up through the field as well, battling the 21 of Dustin Dewar. Looks like Robert Hill Jr. and Dallas Myhan, they're battling for position as well for that 9th spot. And man, Blake Barney's flirting with that top 10. Can't quite break away into that top 10 at the moment. Is your leader Tate Lytle still checking out on the field? Looks like Bloom did get around Frankenfield, so did the 29 of Bayock. But here back in the pack, it's give me $1 versus the Dragon. Side by side. This is a battle for the 12th position. I think if you look even ahead of them, Blake Barney's going to try to work his way up into the top 10, fighting Robert Hill Jr. Looks like he's going to break into the top 10. Looks like he has the run, can't quite get there. And that 00 right ahead of this battle. The 90 machine on the top side as well. Still watching Brandon Dollar losing a couple spots there. He's battling, falling back to the 14th spot. Battling Adamson, making his first start tonight in the OSCA Truck Series. Blake Barney did work his way around Robert Hill, so move him up into the top 10. It looks like Dustin Dewar, he's looking to get into that battle as well in that 21. Blake Barney, he dives on the inside, tries to get inside Johnny Eckert for the 9th position. So Blake Barney now picking his way up through that field. One by one, battling it out. We look out back, the leader on the bottom screen, Tate Lytle still holding on, about a 2/10 of a second lead over Riley Marbello. There we go. I think Chad Frankenfield's trying to rework his way, re-racked himself, trying to work his way back up front in that 5th position, trying to go for 4th for Matthew Bayock. As right now the top 5 kind of pulling away from the rest of the field. So we're kind of watching that second group here. Keeping a close eye on Dollar and Adamson there. And now Dustin Dewar's in 12th, trying to, Johnny Eckert not really having a great run this second half as he threatened into falling out of the top 11. Up the line, we have 4 laps to go here in half number 2. Does Riley Marbello have something for him? It's going to be close. Let's see if he can get that one last run up there. But I think if he does it too soon, you could potentially bring in Bloom, Bayock, and Frankenfield along with them as well. So you got to be careful for when you make your move. Got to make it just at the right time. 2 laps to go here in half number 2. If you watch the battle for the lead on top, the battle right around the 10th position, Robert Hill Jr. Dewar looked like he was closing in there for a second, but it looks like right now that's kind of stagnated a little bit. Now Eckert was trying to make a move on the 21 of Dustin Dewar. That's kind of the best thing that 05 wants to see out of the back end of his machine. So now we have 2 to go. And really Tate Lytle pulling away 0.6 of a second. Chugging it. So this cooler temperature is getting in the field a little bit more spread out. Blake Barney made some last-ditch effort to work his way into the top 10 after getting the win in half number 1. White flag, 1 more lap to go. Last chance to try to jockey for position. Tate Lytle trying to get that redemption. Looked like he had the win in hand in half number 1. Blake Barney made the crazy pass on the inside. Just getting him. But here in half number 2, Tate Lytle's going to take the checkered flag here in the Retro 120 half number 2. Riley Marabello second, Vic Bloom third, Chad Frankenfield fourth, and Matthew Bayak comes home in 5th. Let's hear the fireworks going off. Matt Arcara 6th, Dallas Myhan 7th, David Carpenter coming home 8th, Blake Barney 9th, Robert Hill Jr. comes home in 10th. So Tate Lytle finishing 2nd and 1st in both halves, had the chance to pull off the sweep here tonight, but he's shown he was one of the fastest cars out there all night long and picks up another victory here in the OSCA Truck Series. Again, kind of keeping some of the guys who haven't got wins yet. I can really see him burn it down there on the infield turf here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, so you'll see the smoke rolling out here on the grass. That's probably the only track you'll see that with that AstroTurf on the inside, on the infield. This Tate is burning it down. And then we do have league owner here, Vic Bloom, coming home in 3rd. This is I think this is the first time we've really got to interview him, so we're going to bring in Vic Bloom, who came home in the 3rd spot here in half number 2. And Vic, hey man, I feel like this is probably one of the first times we got to interview you on the broadcast here, and you've come so close so many times this year. It's got to feel good to get on the podium.
Oh, it feels amazing. But first, I gotta apologize to Dennis Weeks. I got into him, and that was 100% on me. That I did not mean for that to happen. I just gotta apologize. I apologized in the race, but genuinely, I'm so sorry that happened. And I am really glad to finish third. I was really, 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 really trying to just hold on. I was blocking the hell out of everybody behind me the last few laps. I really wanted this interview.
Well, and that's the thing, you know, with the side-by-side battling you did have there with Dennis Weeks. I mean, it looks so hard to make a pass, and the margin of error seems so minimal that any little mistake that was made could be catastrophic. And it looked like, yeah, you just washed up the track a little bit. You guys were battling side-by-side for so many laps. But can you talk a little bit about how tough it was to pass trucks out there tonight?
Oh yeah, it was terrible. I mean, the first few laps of a run, you could make both the inside and outside work. You really, really wanted to be on the inside, but you could pass on the outside most of the night tonight. But it didn't feel great to be up there for longer than 2 laps. After 2 laps, you just the truck just stopped reacting the way it did the first 2 laps of it. You would just lose all the time that you had gained. So it was ridiculously hard to pass.
And the other thing, it looked like it was easier maybe to go side by side in the half number 1 when it was a little bit lighter out. Was that kind of the case, or was it just?
Oh yeah. No, that was definitely the case. That was definitely the case. It was definitely easier to go side by side in the daylight. I don't know what the deal was with that. It such a strange thing because normally it's easier at night.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of times from what I think it's going to happen, it always happens the opposite way. But still, overall, a very good run, and finally getting a result that you deserve. It seems like a lot of times you're kind of on the victim end of some of these incidents, but able to get into the top 3. But with that, Vic, any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, I really, again, just want to apologize to Dennis. And as far as shout-outs go, I just got to thank everybody for racing. Without them, none of this is possible, and I'm so appreciative of it. It's like I know that Dallas and I put this on, and so many people just think it's whatever. They don't think much of it, but I'm so appreciative. Even if I butt heads with a lot of these guys, I'm so appreciative they're here. I got to really thank you two. I mean, you two really, Carlos and you just killing it this year. for the broadcast. Not that Kenneth didn't do a good job last season, but you guys are killing it this season. Oh yeah. Well, either way, just got to thank you guys. Got to thank everybody for competing. Got to thank just everybody that's been involved with OSCA. It's amazing, honestly. Just so thankful, so very thankful.
Yeah, it's awesome to be a part of the league as well. And again, congratulations on that third place run. And next week, Watkins Glen, how you feeling about next week? Your chances?
I didn't think I'd get a top 3 this week. I thought for sure it was going to be at a plate race or next week. I don't know. I haven't tested the truck at Watkins Glen yet, so I have no idea how it is. But I like road courses, so if I don't die, I think I can do pretty well. I don't think I'm going to get a win. I think that's going to go to, if Chad races next week, he's definitely going to kill. The entire field is going to have everybody just out there. He's going to be way out there. Him or Johnny Eckert.
Yeah, Chad's one that always has good runs indeed at a lot of the road, or especially Watkins Glen. He's pretty good there. But
home track.
Yeah, it's his home track for him. But thanks for joining us, Vic, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah, hopefully, man. Thank you guys again. Honestly, thank you so much.
And no problem. Vic Bloom coming home third, able to get his interview finally. And then next up, we got a lot of the guys who finished in both halves here. I believe we'll have next up. We got Marabello. We got Blake Barney. We can bring Blake Barney, who did win half number 1. So we'll bring him into the broadcast. Now we got him in here. So Blake Barney, man, you got that win last second, right on the last lap at the line. Big Kitty was with you, and just by the whisker there, you got the victory. And how about this? Yeah, I believe you started on pit road in half number 2, and you were able to work your way back up into the top 10. So you're pretty stout out there tonight.
Yeah, it was a good night. Definitely a lot of fun in that first race. We had a lot of 3-wide racing that, didn't end in a wreck, and we did that for the last about 15 laps. So definitely some good racing for the fans, and definitely had a lot of fun. Caught a couple lucky breaks, took 2 on that last caution, and was just timing my run on Tate. I don't know. They were talking about clean air versus dirty air, but I actually found the advantage of being behind Tate there, being able to get his draft, and it just worked out. It was just a great race, and it's what I come on here for. It's to have fun, and it was so much fun tonight. It was a great finish. For the second race, the driver had to take a bathroom break and didn't get back in time, so I missed the start.
Yeah, that will happen.
Yeah. My dad wanted to see the finish of the last race, and I figured I'd go to the bathroom, and then just took too long. So, this is what it is. Drove up to its top 10, had fun in that race too. Just didn't get enough cautions to really have a shot at it, but fun night, great racing.
Yeah, it was, and again, we were kind of talking to Vic Bloom about the differences between the day heat half number 1 and half number 2, and maybe the challenges of how hard it was to pass from heat 1 to heat 2. But you were a guy that obviously worked his way up through the field relatively easy both halves. Was there much difference in your eyes and from how you felt from one half to the other as far as how easy passing was going?
Well, I mean, in the first half, a lot of guys had new tires. We had more cautions. So when everybody's on new tires, one mistake and you can make a move on the guy in front of you. Where on the last run, we had a really long green flag run, and then we had a semi-long 12-lap run, and with not a lot of cautions or anything. So the problem is once you get 8-9 laps or no tires and the tires get old, it's pretty hard to pass. Any track, just the way it works. So, definitely exciting racing. There was a lot of contrast between the 2 races, though. Very different races of how they raced and all played out.
So next week we head to Watkins Glen, and I believe you're pretty solidly in the chase now with another victory here. But any last regular season finale magic you think you pull next week at the Glen?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely awesome. We finally got to run a dirt race this year in OSCA, which I thought was phenomenal. I had a lot of fun, ran on short tracks and everything. But even last season, we didn't run a road course, so we'll definitely see who can come out and be the road course ringer. I don't know who will be fast, but I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun and it'll be great to watch for the fans.
Yes, indeed. But before we let you go, any shout-outs that you want to give?
Yeah, I just gotta thank ID Racing and McConey Setup Shop, and I did like how you said buy a whisker. So thanks, Big Kitty. Won it by a whisker in the first race.
Heck yeah. Well, congratulations on your half number 1 victory, and awesome coming back from missing the start of the race after having to use the men's room. But we'll see you next week, and hopefully we'll talk to you after the Glen.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
You bet. Blake Barney, winner of half number 1. And next up, we'll bring the guy who finished second, Riley Marabello. We'll bring him in for his interview, finishing second in half number 1, finishing second in half number 2, sixth in half number 1. Riley, great to see you back out here this week. And again, overall, as far as your points lead is concerned, this was a good night for you.
It certainly was. Little bummer though in the second heat. Really wanted to win that one, but hats off to Tate. He beat me off the pit lane there.
Now, do you think that was more of a whoever won the race off pit road was going to get that victory? Was it more of a track position game at this point?
Certainly was, because these trucks, they produce a lot of dirty air, and once you get caught in that, you lose the front end and it goes straight up the racetrack. So it was basically based off who won the race off pit road there.
Yeah, and it looked like, we talked with Barney and Vic, kind of from one half to the other. It looks like maybe if it was in that first half, you could maybe get a little bit more help to sometimes make those passes, because side-by-side racing looked a little bit more prevalent in half number 1 than half number 2. Is that kind of the case, what you felt like as well?
Yeah, I did. The bottom and top were really even in half number 1, so it was extremely difficult to pass on the bottom or top unless you had a little bit of help from somebody behind you or in front of you.
Yeah, certainly. And yeah, it looked like a little bit more spread out. But again, a good points run. Next week, we'll have the season finale at Watkins Glen. How you feeling heading to the road course next week?
I'm feeling pretty confident. Watkins Glen's probably one of my favorite road courses, and it's probably one of my best road courses on iRacing, so I'm looking forward to it. And as we speak, I'm actually practicing right now, getting ready for next week.
Oh, wow. So, man, he's on it. So he's, I'm expecting we'll probably be talking to you next week after a very solid run at Watkins Glen if you're starting practice now. So that's awesome. But with that, before we let you go back to practice, we'll give you the floor for any shout-outs you want to give.
Yeah, I'd just like to shout out Redemption Motorsports. Great teammates, especially Kevin White Jr. for helping me throughout this race tonight, keep my composure, especially through that first heat, because, man, that was frustrating. Shout out to the Laugh Lap for making this possible. Could check out the Laugh Lap on Instagram for some great and funny NASCAR memes. And also, I'd like to thank Snowman Studios for all the great paint schemes they give me throughout the season.
It's a beautiful one indeed. Well, we'll let you get back to practice, Riley, and we'll talk to you again next week after the Glen.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you, Mike.
You bet. Riley Marabello finishing second here in half number 2. Now we'll bring out the guy who came so close to sweeping both the heats, but he did finish second half number 1 and did get that victory in half number 2. It's Tate Lytle. Tate had a pretty good night tonight. You were stout all night long. Didn't matter day or night. You had it figured out.
Yeah, I love Charlotte. I figured it'd be a good track for me. Hit the wall behind Chad on that first race, and I think that kind of took a little bit of the straight line speed out of the truck. Otherwise, it might have been, it could have been pretty darn close. I just didn't have anything off the top for Blake in that first race. But got off pit road first in the second one off that one caution, and was able to use the air to my advantage to make it pretty tough for Riley to get a run on me.
So were the trucks pretty tight? Now we talked almost everyone we interviewed about kind of the differences between half number 1 and half number 2, but we've seen a couple guys getting in the wall, and you were like one of the first ones, I think, in that first half. And how much does that hurt the truck? Because it didn't look like you hit the wall hard, but there was damage there. Maybe explain how much worse it makes the truck feel going into the corner, or maybe in that straight line speed you're talking about.
I had like 40 seconds of damage.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I got it fixed and it was back in like 22nd, and I thought I was no chance after that caution, because I only got up to like 17th in the first 6 or 7 laps there, and took 2 tires on that last caution and was able to get the top working a little bit and just go where everyone else wasn't. Got to the lead, and I was hoping I was gonna be able to pull Blake, but the draft was just too big with the damage I had, and he got under me a couple times. I was able to pinch him pretty good, but I probably could have turned left on him off of 4, but I knew it was gonna be a photo finish, and I didn't want to ruin that for you guys and for everyone else. So cool to be a photo finish. Wish I would have been the winner of that one though. But while I have you, Carlos, go, if you don't mind, go to lap 21 of heat number 1 and watch my in-car. I don't know if you guys caught it or not on the broadcast, but I had probably one of the closest calls in my iRacing career, and that dates back about 10 years. So if you're you gotta watch this, dude. You gotta watch this. This is crazy.
So while we see if we can pull that up, we talked to Riley too about the half number 2 as far as the beating him off pit road. Maybe talk a little bit how for one, I think this is the second time we've talked to you about getting good pit stops here in the OSCA Truck Series, and do you think if you did not win that race off pit road that you might have been finishing second behind Riley tonight?
My odds of finishing second would have been higher for sure. I still like to think I would have had a run at him at least. But yeah, I was maxed out on speed. I mean, I was probably pretty close to get a speeding penalty, and charged my box, stopped right on the numbers, wheel straight. As soon as the jack dropped, we were off straight up to 45 and barely got him. So I mean, I executed that one pretty good. Not always how it goes, but I'm glad that's how it went that one time.
Yeah, that's all he needed, and able to stay out front, keep that lead. But again, a guy who not a full-time guy out here in the OSCA Truck Series, but next week we head to Watkins Glen. What are your thoughts? What do you? Okay, well, here we go. Now we got the.
Oh, this is the end of it, or what is this one?
Oh, this is.
Oh, go to
lap 21. He said.
Yeah, 21.
I think that might have been towards the end of the end of the race there. But still, we're still working on pulling it up here. But Tate, next week the OSCA Truck Series heads to Watkins Glen. What feelers are you putting out to be showing up next week?
We'll see. I don't know. It's kind of. Sometimes I get off at 6. Sometimes I get off later than 6, and the races start at 6:45 my time. So it's hard to say whether I'll make it. Like last week, I really wanted to race Talladega, but I got home like 10 minutes too late. So if the races started at 7 my time, I'd probably be pretty confident in making it, but we'll just have to wait and see. Is it? No, this is the end of the race, heat 1.
I wonder if it doesn't go back far enough.
Yeah, it probably doesn't. Yeah.
This is the end. I believe that's the end of the race, right? Yeah.
It must not go back that far.
Sometimes time's out or something if it's too long. But first, okay, so we're not able to get. We'll have to somehow. Man, because I think there was a big wreck around that.
Yeah, it was crazy. I watched back and it didn't look like you guys quite caught it, so I was like, oh man, I gotta mention it to him.
Oh man, but with that though, we'll give you the floor for any shout outs you want to give for awesome night here tonight.
Yeah, thanks for D West and Vic for letting me run. Hanging out with Johnny and D West down there in the Discord is always fun. I don't get to hang out with Johnny as much as I used to during these races, so it's cool to be able to do that. Didn't have time to put him on the truck, but Brent Wentz, days gone by. Happy late birthday to that guy. Go check out his Etsy page. He's got a lot of cool vintage racing stuff and some other like just cool antiques. So go check that out. Pretty reasonably priced. He's always got some sort of deal going on. So check that out. I know I've spent way too much money on that, and if you're still listening at this point, then you must like racing a little bit. So go give him a check on that Etsy page.
Heck yeah, great stuff there. But again, good run tonight, Tate, and we'll hope to see you next week at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll see you Monday at where are we? Indianapolis, Carlos.
Indianapolis. Oh boy. Oh.
Yeah, we'll see you Monday. We'll see you Monday for sure.
All right, Tate.
All right, later, fellas.
See
Thanks for everything.
Yep, no problem. Tate Lytle getting the win in half number 2, getting it back into victory lane, just as he did in New Hampshire. But with that, we'll bring a close to round number 9 here of the Retro 120 here in the OSCA Truck Series. And with that, for Carlos Acosta, I'm Mike Goodman, and I'm going to Full Throttle TV. Maybe we'll see you next week. And hey, Carlos, he got recalled up from AA 2 Wide TV. But next week we go to the Glen. The trade deadline's over. We'll see if we're here next week. Thank you all for tuning in. Good night now.